here. So if I look down, I'm only reading your comments. So there's quite a few people here already, which is really, really exciting. I'm pumped for this one. Like, I was setting it all up today and I was feeling a little bit anxious and a little bit stressed because I was just looking at all this food thinking, this is what, you know, a lot of people eat on a daily basis, and it's definitely what I used to eat on a daily basis and what I used to give my little girl as well. So I'm really looking forward to showing you guys lunchboxes that might shock the pants off you, and then how you can turn that lunchbox into additive free. So Trace is in the chat group. Are you there, Trace? Here she comes. Hi. I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, and Joe, there's actually, sorry, you just have to give me a chance to get in there, Joe, like I did before. It's really bad audio. There's a few codes, so you're going to need to take it really, really slow, Joe, and not rush anything. So I think it's coming from your house, because at one stage you thought it was my house being but as well. So anyway, okay, let's run through a few housekeeping rules before we get started. Oh, Joe's just dropped out there for a sec. Hopefully it's all good. Okay. In your house is on the internet, as in Netflix or Xbox Live or any of those things, then boot them off. I've just gone outside and kicked everyone off and told them to put their phones on airplane mode even. So yeah, so it's saying it's all good back in my end, Joe, so it must be something for you there. So if you're having troubles at home, yeah, you can watch the replay and it will be a lot clearer in the replay if you're having really bad trouble and you can't keep up. But if you've got anyone in your own house streaming, or anyone, like I said, on Netflix, like, you know, YouTubing or any of those gaming things that those young kids do, then kick them off and just say it's mummy's time, and you know, you just need an hour. So apparently my audio is good, so that's great. But we'll flick back to Joe. I'll make sure she goes really slow and won't rush ahead. Have, like a few people have said, I've got pen and paper ready, and hopefully I'm just looking to the side because that's where my comments come up down the side here. So hi, Dee Dee. So hopefully it's good, and hopefully people can start hearing Joe better. She is still a bit blurry when I'm looking at her here, but if we're having problems, I'll try and comment as much as I can in the chat group. And if you're having heaps of problems, I'll get her to repeat stuff. So stay with us. We'll do the best we can. We've got heaps to cover, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. I'll flick back to Joe.
So I hopefully fixed the sound. Let me know if that sounds better. I think I might have had it plugged into the computer and not my microphone. So let me know. It'll be about 30 seconds before you start commenting. Can you hear me better, Tracy? Much better. Yeah.
It is slightly better, but yeah, it's still a bit tinny, but it should be okay.
Cool. Everyone's saying yes. And I'm so glad Rachel and Amy got together. So hello. Where's everyone from? Let us know. And also let us know if this is your first webinar. Because we love to know who's attending our webinars for the first time. I can see a lot of old veterans' names popping up as well. So thanks for coming back and watching. And I will get started. So I'm going to flick you over to Tracy for just a little bit. I'm going to set up a few things and then you'll come back to me.
All right. So as I sit here in Tassie freezing my date off with my hot cup of tea, and look, office, I've got a heat pack on my lap. It is freezing, and I'm so sorry to everyone that's like going through this massive heat wave in the rest of the country, you know, but Tassie, we've had this cold spell, and I think Melbourne was quite cold today as well. So anyway, hope you guys are all okay. Hope the heat's not bothering anyone, and hope you're all safe and sitting in the aircon, because that's where I would be. A few people saying it's freezing in Tassie. Oh, it really is. And stinking hot in Nyngan. So yeah, there's a few people who can see coming in. Joe's giving me the thumbs up. She's ready to go. Repeat offender here from last additive-free made easy. Oh, funny, Claire. All right, hang on. She's just grabbing something else, and I'll pass you back to Joe.
Sorry, I said I was ready, but then I wasn't really. So what I'm going to do is, if you missed the start, I'm going to pack a lunchbox and use some foods that are heavily marketed in the supermarket to be good lunchbox foods. They're obviously quick and convenient, which we need these days. And I am going to then let you know what additives and preservatives that I'm going to pop in. Then I'm going to switch it around. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to use similar food, but it's additive free. My husband's sitting right here, and I keep going to look at him, so you're distracting me. You need to be gone. He's walked out.
Tell him he needs to join in, Joe. Tell him he should come round into the kitchen and join in if he wants to sit there and watch.
Oh, Tracy had a good idea. Would you like to come round to the kitchen and join in? Nah, he's not keen. Next time.
Hasn't got his makeup on.
She's not dressed for the occasion, apparently. All right. So what I'm going to do is pop in one of these cheese and bacon rolls that I've got from the supermarket. So we'll pop that in there. Sometimes I used to also fill this with a little bit of margarine, some cheese and some ham, but today we're going to go just the plain old bacon and cheese roll. I've also got some M&M cookies, and these were $2 at Woolworths. So I kind of think a lot of people are going to pick these up this week and buy a bag of cookies for $2. So I grabbed a bag and we'll pop one of those in. It's not the best lunchbox, but we'll make it do. What I've got here is a snack pack, and it's just got sultanas, some goji berries, it's got blueberries, cranberries, and raisins, and less than 100 calories per pack. So we'll pop in a little, and it actually says super berry mix. So we'll pop in a bag of super berry mix in there as well. And we've got some apricot bites. I used to buy apricots all the time, and especially for Eva, and they're quick and convenient, and I can see how people would definitely grab these for snacks on the run, no matter how old you are, whether you're little kids to adults. So we'll pop a few of them in. Then of course we're going to have fruit for your munch and crunch, and fruit's good. We'll put fruit in, and then some dairy. So generally the Australian guide for a healthy lunchbox is your wheat component, your dairy component, your fruit component, and your veggies. And you could put some carrots or something like that in as well. So in this lunchbox, I'm going to run you through what's not so good about it. The bread has a gazillion ingredients, and there's nitrates in here, there's anti-caking agent, there's preservatives. All of the things in this roll are linked to things like headaches, asthmatics should avoid it. Some of the ingredients in this roll are actually prohibited in foods for infants and young children. And just headaches, restlessness, ADHD type tendencies. So if I was to add some margarine in there and some ham as well, you're getting another double load of nitrates as well. And yeah, definitely not the greatest option when it comes to additives and preservatives. This biscuit contains that many artificial food colours that it's a little bit scary. Now we talk about artificial food colours in our equals additive free made easy, and we have a long list of what they're linked to, but to give you a rundown, artificial food colours, and this one has colour 102, which was the numbers that literally changed my life. 110, 133. There's also vegetable gums, there's palm oil, vegetable emulsifiers, there's flavouring colour, there's the ingredients just go on and on and on and on, which when you're looking at a cookie, you really don't need that many ingredients. So this biscuit is also linked to behavioural issues, headaches, restlessness, ADHD type tendencies, gut irritation, even things like metal rash or a rash on your body as well. In this, this is actually a good, not a bad option for a yo-yo pouch, but the little titanium yo-yos, which I should have grabbed, do contain ingredients that are not great for infants and young children as well. Then in our little snack bag here, we've got preservative 223, which is again linked to restlessness, behavioural issues, asthmatics should avoid it, and yeah, definitely 223 is one we need to avoid. And then in our little apricot bites, we've also got preservative 202, which can be fatal to asthmatics. So if you have any respiratory issues, definitely stay away from 220. So I think it's 202, 220. And these little bites also have 160B. Now on the back, it says natural, they've got palm oil as well, but it says natural flavour, and annatto 160B is a natural colour. Now, the reason it's natural is because it's derived from the annatto tree and the seed pod of the annatto tree, and trees are natural, right? So companies can get away with putting big logos on everything saying no artificial food colours, no artificial. That's because annatto is natural. But annatto is one of the worst additives that is in today's food. And Tracy and I both feel that we should avoid annatto at all costs. It's definitely a no-go in this house. So in one little lunchbox, which you think would be all right, you're looking at a whole lunchbox filled with things that are linked to ADHD type tendencies and restlessness, brain fog, and the list goes on and on and on. What's everyone saying, Chase? I think we're freaking out already.
Okay, so this is really crackly again. I'm not sure if one of you kids just snuck on to Netflix or something in their bedroom, but what did go really crackly. I was still able to hear quite well, but it was. So I'll just go back through some of those numbers Jo was mentioning in her discussion through the lunchbox there. So I'm just looking at the picture. I know she mentioned a whole stack of food colours. Most food colours are linked to behavioural issues, ADHD type symptoms, headaches, restlessness, itchy legs, like twitchy legs, you know, in kids and things like that. It's also, she went through nitrates and in the egg and cheese and bacon rolls, anti-caking agent. The bread itself has preservative 282, which we did in the challenge, so you guys should all know about that one. What else did she have there? The apricot bites were a massive list of numbers. In particular, she mentioned 220, which is sulfites, and which can be fatal to asthmatics. If you have any type of breathing or respiratory issues, definitely avoid sulfites in your diet in general. And the other one she mentioned in those little apricot bites was 160B, which we covered in the challenge as well. So you guys should be all over that. If you didn't do the challenge, 160B is a hideous ingredient. They class it as natural because it comes from a tree. We class tobacco as natural, and we all know that that's not great for us. So not everything natural is good for us, and companies are using some of these ingredients. Oh, natural flavours, yay! But, you know, it's really about the education and making sure that even though they're natural, what we're eating is still good for us. So that was a really quick rundown of what Jo was mentioning in that lunchbox. So hopefully you guys could hear me better than Jo, which is fine. And yeah, there will be a replay, and you can access the replay, and generally that does come through in much better audio quality. But I'll go through some of these questions really quickly. So Summer has asked, is natural flavour bad? Okay, this is the catch. Natural flavour can mean anything in the world, literally. Like, maybe not in the world, but it can mean MSG, for example. It can mean annatto. It could just mean vanilla. It could actually mean arsenic, but we're not going to add arsenic to food and that would be illegal. But, you know, it could literally mean anything that they want it to mean, and they can hide the words natural flavours. So natural flavours is not always, generally not most of the time. They're using that to disguise something they don't want you to know is in the ingredients. So it's one that I look at immediately. So someone to answer that question, not all the time bad. Sometimes I'll ring a company, or I ring the companies all the time. I ring companies all the time. And I'll say, is natural flavour what, or product? Sometimes they'll say it's vanilla. I'm like, well, why not write vanilla? But sometimes I'll go, oh, that's right. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I won't be buying that again. See you later. Yeah, wary of the words natural. Let us scroll. There was a few right down the bottom. Just go. I'm okay. As long as it's pretty much nothing from the supermarket, you will have to hunt for it. There is a brand at the supermarket that uses celery juice, which is a natural nitrite. But if you have any issues with nitrates or nitrates, then you would need So you can get nitrate-free ham from some butchers, so you need to look out for those places. But to answer your question, is any ham okay? Generally from the supermarket, the answer will be no. And Jackie, can we have some numbers sometime to check too, if possible? So Jackie, when you do our additive-free Made Easy course with information, so we'll get to that later, but I just wanted to make sure you knew we weren't ignoring your question. So back to Jo, she's ready for another one. And Karen, you've asked the same question, Kara, as the lady just before, is there a good place to go? Yes, our course, which we're about to get to soon.
Yeah, so hopefully you can hear me okay. I've just reset my microphone. I don't know, fingers crossed it works out, because this is going to be a really, really good webinar. So I hope that it holds up. What I'm going to do now is take this lunchbox and I'm then going to swap it over into an additive-free one. So what I'm going to do is I have made some scrolls, but of course I could have just made bread rolls and put my own ham and cheese on top. And I've used nitrate-free bacon. I've also put in these scrolls Vital Veggie Powder, which is the NutriOrganics brand that we sell on our website. And I've put some spinach in the dough and a carrot in the dough. And I've also put the Vital Veggie Powder all over it as well. So the scroll is actually packed full of vegetables. It's our veggie smuggled scroll recipe on our website if you want to check it out. Now we've got a really good coupon and a really good offer for you at the end of the webinar. So if you can try and hang around, you're going to get a really good deal at the end. So fingers crossed this holds up. I'm just going to leave a piece of fruit in there because obviously that's okay. What I did was I made my own Smartie biscuit, which took me no time at all. And our recipe on our website, this is the Honey Betty biscuit recipe, and it makes 1,000 biscuits, and they're really easy to make. And what I did was I used our gems that we sell on our website, which are all natural food colours, not a natto natural, but proper natural like beetroot juice and sunflower and apples and carrots. And if you hang around to the end, you'll get a coupon. And for the fruit, I've got some sulfur dioxide free apricots, and I've just literally made a bliss ball and I chopped it up because they were massive. So I'm going to take these out and put my sulfite free one in. I'm going to take my little bag of fruit out and just use some cranberries. This brand is sulfite free. That will go in there. And then with my yogurt, I'll show you how thick and creamy our vanilla yogurt recipe is from our website. I can hold it up. Now, this is really easy. If you've never made our vanilla yogurt recipe, please give it a go. It's amazing. So, what I'm going to do, using the cinchies that we also sell on our website and the cool little funnel, I am going to mix some berry powder through. Get a little container. What is this? I'm going to tip a little bit of berry powder in there. I'm going to put my vanilla yogurt in, mix it up, and put it in my reusable food pouch. Now, I do this in one bulk lot. I don't do this every morning when I pack the lunchbox or every night. I do the whole lot and then put them in the fridge. But normally I would fill it, but you get the idea. And there we go. We've all of a sudden got 0 additives. We've got some hidden veggies in there. We've got packed full of superfoods, being the superfood powder. And yeah. Got an additive-free lunchbox. Is everyone all right?
Yeah, there's just was waiting for you to actually finish because there's a slight delay. So if you can just flick your microphone off, Jo, I will go to answer some of these questions quickly. Okay, so Kat has asked, interesting, re the twitchy legs. Can that come up just the day that your kids eat stuff? Definitely yes. It can also take up to 3 days to appear, like for symptoms to appear. So there was a couple of questions about symptoms and how they work. We do cover this throughout Additive Free Made Easy. We interview an array of different people's topics. But yes, it can definitely. It will take maybe a little bit of illuminating to figure out what exactly is causing the twitch and itchy legs, and that, you know, those achy legs that sometimes kids have, we call them growls. So it can also be something that they may have eaten. So definitely, it can definitely happen in the same day. Jackie's asked, do they have to put all the numbers in the labels? Labelling laws in Australia are terrible. And no, they don't. So there's an additive free made easy, but there's what they call a 5% rule. So if you're looking at something like a pre-bought pizza base, for example, you know, the big round ones, and they might have the tomato paste on the top already, but no toppings, and you just top it yourself. You can just top it up. They don't have to number 5% of, or label 5% of the ingredients. So the bigger, like the base is obviously, let's say 90%. The sauce is, you know, your remained stuff. So out of that, there's 5% that's just void and it's in it. So percent of it is the base and whatever, and then 5% is the topping on top. They literally only have to tell you what's in the base and you won't know what's in the sauce. Those sorts of things can happen, and it happens all the time. And so no, not everything is always on the label, but and sometimes the labels are vague. Like it might say, like we discussed before, natural flavors. It could be anything. So yeah, it's definitely vague. I'll come back to your question, what is 160A? And then Ree has asked, has asked, what about rice? I don't know if I've ever heard of arsenic in rice, unless it's totally like the naturally derived, you know, it's in the rice kind of, you know, how some things have, like tomatoes have stuff in them that you wouldn't eat alone, but because it's in the tomato, it's all in with everything else, and it's actually okay because nature's great that way. Everything counteracts each other. So I'm thinking that's what you mean, but I've never heard of arsenic being added to rice. I do buy an organic rice, so I'm not sure about that one. I'm sorry, Ray. How long is it before you see the effects of additives and preservatives? Does it take long for them to wear off? That is a fantastic question. And it varies for every different human being on the planet. So there is no one set answer for that though. Christy Lee, sorry. Some people, it can be like within half an hour, your kids will be bouncing off the wall, will have a headache or a migraine or whatever. And other times it might take 3 days for that progression to tally up in your body. It'll depend on the size of the person, you know, the weight of the person, etc. So that's a really tough question to answer, but a great question to ask. And it is different for every single person. All right, scrolling. Is there further info? Joe's giving me the thumbs up. Info available on the challenge, please. Yes, add a friend. That's the course we're about to run, and we're launching that soon, and we'll have a code and everything for you guys soon. I'll just quickly answer a couple of these. How do the supermarkets sell sulfite-free fruit? Some do stock organic fruit, like dried fruit, coconut and stuff. I'm yet to find organic apricots. I have to buy them online. I can't find any in Tassie. But, you know, some health food shops may stock organic apricots, but I can get a few other dried fruits and stuff. So it is just a matter of looking around for those. So there's a couple of people have asked that one. And Michelle just left a center one. Can I use the yogurt recipe on our yogurt recipe in the automated recipe on your Thermomix? Joe might be able to answer that one. And is Greek yogurt okay? Joanna has asked. It would be a matter of checking the ingredients, Joanna, in that Greek yogurt and just seeing how you go. So I'll flick back to Joe. And Joe, if you can just quickly answer if you know if you can use the our recipe as an automated Thermomix recipe, like the chip one.
Okay, the answer to that is no, you can't, because the automated one heats up at the start, and it generally will kill the starter. So the answer to that is no. Sorry. All right, so the next one. This is my favorite. I love telling this story. A lot of you guys have probably heard me tell it already, and you're going to hear me again. We've got some spinach wraps. I would love for you to type in the comments if you have ever eaten one of these, and if you've ever eaten one of these, because we used to have them all the time. So we've got a spinach wrap. I'm going to put in some pre-shredded, what have I got? Cheese. I am going to put in some deli ham. Got some nice honey leg ham. A lot in. And, you know, you could put some vegetables or carrot or zucchini or something in there, but I don't sort of want to waste them because this is going in the bin. So we've got a wrap. I'm going to pop in some shapes. You know, most lunchboxes have shapes in them. Now, I've got a long history of working in early years education, and I've seen, trust me, a lot of lunchboxes. So I generally know what a standard Australian kid's lunchbox looks like. We've of course got your fruit. Now what I've got here is little mango straps. In the supermarket, these looked a lot better than like the roll-ups. And it says on the front, gluten-free, no artificial colours or flavours, lunchbox snacking. So again, heavily marketed to lunchboxes. So we're going to pop a mango strap in there. We're going to pop in some dairy, some milk, and, you know, we've got lunch, we've got morning tea, we've got munch and crunch. So in this lunchbox, we once again have artificial food colours, because these wraps are green from a mix of blue food colouring and yellow food colouring. They're not green from spinach. There's no spinach in these wraps. There's spinach flavouring. So these wraps I opened in October last year. I opened these for the webinar that we ran in October. I've had them sitting in my office. I didn't seal them. I literally just I literally just folded them in half like that and put them in the box. There is not one lick of mold on these. They're still nice and fresh. You can see how well they wrap up. And these have been opened for what, October, November, December, January, 4 months. And, you know, I'm in 40-degree heat at the moment. That's because they're filled with preservatives as well. So a lot of bread and a lot of wraps have preservative 282. And if you've just done our 7-day challenge, you would have learned what 282 is. Again, it's restlessness, headaches, ADHD type tendencies, stomach irritations. There's also preservative 200 in these, and then the food colour 102 and 133. 133 is brilliant blue, and it's one of the worst food colours out there. And not that there's probably really a good one. And then there's also the antioxidants and the salt and the sugar and the herb seasoning, 0.9% of spinach herb seasoning, and then the wheat flour. So definitely don't buy these again. We've got the mango straps. These contain, they're right, there's no artificial food colours in there, there's no annatto in there, so there's no food colours in there, which is great, but unfortunately they contain preservative 223. And 223 is again linked to all those type of things that I'm talking about, being the restlessness, the irritable legs, the headaches, the brain fog, the not being able to concentrate. And I might have to look it up, but I do believe that it is discouraged for food for infants and young children. So that's 223. The milk is, it says on the front, no artificial colours, flavours or sweeteners. Yet this has 25 grams of sugar, and I'm going to show you in a minute what 25 grams of sugar looks like. And then our shapes, our yummy chicken crimpies, because let's face it, they're delicious. They are full of MSG. The MSG, which you'll learn about in Additive Free Made Easy, changes the brain receptors. What it does is it tells your brain that you're not full. It tells your brain to keep eating. So that's why you can sit there and eat a whole box of these, because they're just full of MSG. But it does far more than that. It causes insomnia, restless legs, bloating, gut irritation, just so many different things. And I think there's 3 different types of MSG in here. So we've got the 621, the 635, we've got natural flavour, maltodextrin as well, and we've got a few extra numbers added to these as well. So definitely when you're looking at 621, that means MSG. So that's just one simple little lunchbox. I will show you the sugar content. I just need to grab something out.
So just quickly while she's doing that, 223, I'm just reading from my notes, is actually prohibited in food for infants, so not cool. And it's linked to respiratory and kidney issues, and it's also extremely harmful to aquatic organisms. So if you're washing that down the sink and you know, you're doing your washing up and stuff like that, and you're chucking that down the sink, or it ends up in our waterways, not cool. It's really harmful. And you'll also get some type of hay fever reactions to some of these ingredients as well. And I know I do, like I get all blocked up and feel like you've got that runny nose sort of symptom. And that is your preservative 223. It's a synthetic ingredient. It's man-made, nothing natural about it. Really avoid it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Trace, because quite often, and I used to see it a lot when I used to work in kindergarten, kids would constantly have a blocked nose and a runny nose. And their parents would, you know, take them to the GP and take them to see different people because they just always have this cold. A lot of that is linked to additives and preservatives as well. A lot of it is linked to gut health as well, but definitely additives and preservatives. So, you know, when you constantly have that stuffed nose, that could be what you're eating as well. So I'm going to show you the sugar content. One serving of this is 25 grams of sugar. So if I use, which is this much sugar, Should have been organised. Ready? That much sugar. Now, Tracy and I, we're not against sugar. We eat sugar, but when you see it like that, and you think, you know, us or your child could be drinking that much sugar from one of them, I want to show you how you can switch it up to them having next to none. Should I do that now, Trace?
Yeah, so I just want to go back because you asked everyone if they had eaten those wraps, and there were a few people that are really grossed out that the wraps were opened in October in Queensland, where it's obviously hot most of the year, and there's quite edible, really, if you look at it like that. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know that because you hadn't gone back through to check those comments. But yeah, and there's a couple of people that said, oh, I was at that webinar and I watched you open them. And they've been sitting in your not even in a cupboard. They've just been literally sitting in a cardboard box in her office.
Yeah, they haven't been in the freezer or anything, and they're still as fresh as they. The only thing that's happened to them is they've faded a little bit in colour. But apart from that, you wouldn't know. All right, so let's make one additive free, hey? And a little bit less sugar free. All right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of them. Well, the apple can stay, of course. What I have got here is a mess. I've got a plain milk. And if I want to make a chocolate, I can pop in a little bit of my superfood chocolate powder. This stuff is amazing. And again, we've got a coupon code for you guys at the end. So, I'm going to pop in a little bit of chocolate. I'm going to shake it up, and I've got my chocolate milk. That's only got the natural sugar from the milk. So it's only got one of these in it, naturally. So pop in the choppy milk. And this stuff is a mix between chocolate, like cacao, and berries. So it's got a lot of really great antioxidants in there because of the berries as well. So we've got chocolate milk. We're going to clean up some of this mess. We're going to grab one of the spinach wraps that I have made off our website. The recipe's on our website. I'm going to get some of the nitrate-free ham from the supermarket because it was all I could find. And as Tracy said before, it is cured in celery juice, which is a natural form of nitrate. So if you are sensitive, then try and find a good nitrate-free ham from the butcher. So we'll pop our nitrate-free ham in there. And then, of course, we're just going to grate our own cheese. Doesn't take long at all. And I'm going to add some vital veggie powder because I'm actually going to keep this wrap and Eva's going to eat it tomorrow for lunch. So we'll grab that out. This is the vital veggie powder. 2 teaspoons of this equals 1 serve of veggies, and she loves this stuff. So we've got a nice, yummy, edible wrap. We've got some of these. These are not too bad. So they're quite good from an additive and preservative point of view. So rather than our shake, I'm going to pop in some flavoured rice cakes. pop in a few cherry tomatoes for good measure. I'm going to pop in an egg for some protein. And I've also got shredded chicken here, which I use a lot as well. So if I didn't want to use ham, then this is a bit of a staple in our house now, and it's really easy to make, and the recipe is on our website. So I could have used that. And there we have it. She's got her lunch, morning tea, and munch and crunch, and her dairy. Additive free.
Nice work, Joe. Yay! Okay, a million questions that have just popped up because you freaked everyone out. All right, let me start from where it starts way down. Let me scroll down and make sure I don't miss any because we want to know exactly what we're talking about here. Okay, so we're back to the twitchy, itchy leg syndrome. What additive causes the twitchy legs? There's quite a few, Rachel, and we do discuss it in Additive Free Made Easy, so it's a bit too many to discuss right now, but there are quite a few additives that are linked to those type of symptoms. But for your, I'm assuming your child, maybe yourself, I know for myself it's MSG. It really gives me that achy leg, but each person is different. So is figuring those things out is part of the process throughout the course. Additive Free Made Easy. And Charlie has asked, where can I buy cots? Hang around till the end of the show, and you will get a link with maybe a discount code. I didn't say that out loud, but you know, maybe. Is mountain bread okay? Is Christy's question. Actually, Christy's asked a few questions. I think it's, is this okay? We really don't like saying, is mountain bread okay? And we say yes, because without reading the ingredients on every single packet, I don't want to say yes and then you go and buy them and the brand you buy or the one you buy is not okay. It is about education and then making sure that what you're buying is okay. So I'm not going to say yes and I'm not going to say no, because most of the time it is okay. Still about different ones, yes. So always read the labels. Summer has asked, my kids are shocking with water, and is there a healthier alternative in regards to juices? It will be full of sugar. So if you're concerned about sugar content, then no, there's no real alternative to water. You know, water's water. But if you're not, sugar content, juices are quite an okay alternative. And, you know, maybe you can start like watering it down or something like that, or putting it, you know, just easing off a little bit. We also stock on our website a raw cordial, and again, it still has sugar in it. And like Joe just mentioned before, we're not against sugar. We try to, you know, ease off when we can. So there is an alternative, new juices or the raw cordial. Then you can really dilute. Yeah, if you're worried about sugar, then none of those are a good option either. So just stick with water if you can. Joe's giving me the thumbs up. I've got about 4 more questions. The chocolate berry powder that Joe just used before to make her chocolate milk that we stock on our website, Charlie has said the chocolate in it, doesn't it? Or did I buy the wrong one? I don't have any right on me handy. If Joe runs to the pantry, she'll check that for you. I'm pretty sure it does have a form of coconut sugar, but like I mentioned, we're not against sugar. We're just against egg. So Charlie, I think you're fine with that. I missed what you put in the milk, Kerry. I might just grab it out again just to show again. If she can hear me, grab the chocolate powder out again, Joe, and just show that one again. How long do the wraps last? I'm assuming, Jackie, you're talking about the homemade wraps Joe made. You can last a good couple of months in your freezer. The tin, Joe, grab the jar of the chocolate berry container. She's standing there. Yeah, now she's got it. What brand is the ham that Joe bought from the supermarket? It's called it starts with a D. I can't think what it's called. She's getting it out of a rubbish bin. She'll show you in a sec, Bianca. What flavour were those rice cakes? I think they were plain. Most plain rice cakes are okay, but still always just have a quick check of the ingredients. And I think that is everything. Is that all the flavours of the cicada crackers? Mel, is that all the flavours of the cicada crackers? Do you mean is all the flavours okay? No, not all the flavours are okay. A big hint, if you see on the front of a packet the words no artificial colours, flip it over and check what colours are in there then, because generally if it says on the front all this cool stuff like nothing of this, no artificial that, you know, no added MSG. No added MSG means there's MSG in there somewhere. They just haven't added any extra, generally. No artificial colours would generally mean, as a general rule, there's probably annatto, which is classed, as we now know, natural, even though it's not great for us. So, oh yeah, there we go. Belinda's written, I never know how to say it, Dosonga, just something like that Dosonga brand. But be wary, though, when you go, because there's the one that has got the really bad stuff in it, and then there's the same brand that doesn't. So it is in the fridge section of the supermarket. You'll see it says all natural or something on the front, but it is with the celery juice. So still be wary. I still really limit my intake of that one. I'll buy it if I'm desperate, if I can't get ham from my butcher nitrate free. And I think that's all those questions up to date. We'll flick through back to Jo and then we'll go on from here. So back to Jo.
Alrighty. Yeah, it's this one, Dosogna. But I'm exactly the same as Tracy. I only buy this when on desperate measures. We definitely do not eat it daily. And
just hold it a bit closer, Jo. It was still really far away. Just see if you can get it really close.
Yeah. So it's a treat. And treats to us happen occasionally, not a treat a day. So, yeah. I'll put it back in there. And then the superfood powders were these three. So the Sea Berry Blast was what went in the yogurt. The Vital Veggie powder is what I used in the wrap. And the Berry Chop Chunk is what I used in the milk. Okay, we'll move on to the next lunchbox. Now what I've got here is some bickies that say no artificial colours and flavours on the front. And again, these were opened in October's webinar as well. Still as fresh as a daisy. Well, that's not going to work. I'm just going to sit it in front, so you're not going to be able to see in there. I have got a nice and natural muesli bar. I've got the bag chips, the fruit, and I'm going to put some frankfurts in this one because I used to see there's a lot at school, a lot at kindy. It's in there. And we might pop in, would that be enough? Munch and Crunch, lunch, morning tea. Probably do need something else for lunch, but I don't know. Anyway, you get the gist. We'll just leave it at that. These have 621 in them, MSG. So we're looking at MSG. We're looking at sulfur dioxide in this. Even though it says nice and natural on the front, they've still cured the dried fruit in sulfur dioxide. We've got annatto 160B. Again, no artificial flavours or colourings, yet they're packed with preservatives. There's no mould. They're still as fresh as they were when I opened them in October. And the colour, that pink, and then the yellow and the pink in the hundreds and thousands, pink and yellow because of annatto. So I've got annatto, and then the frankfurts, artificial food colours, nitrates, heavily processed. These are like behavioural issues best friend. This is like the best thing ever for upsetting a child. Am I allowed to say that? That's how many additives and preservatives is in one of these. I can't even begin to explain. And you know what? I did screenshot the ingredients. So when we click to Tracy, I'll grab it. I'll grab my phone and have a look. But yeah, we're talking a lot of ingredients in one of these. And we do talk about processed meat a lot in additive-free Made Easy.
Oh, is it flicking to me? You didn't go, and I'll cross back to Tracy. You said the little cocktail sausages a lot more politely than I would have. I would have called them a chemical storm. But anyway, that would have been me. So Gemma has said, surely by now most people know how awful the ingredients are in those little salves. You would be surprised. There's a Thermomix page going on, and I don't know how many times I have seen the little bread roll thing. So they've made the bread roll, which is great. They've made bread, and then they've stuck the little on the inside so that as it cooks, it folds over. And so, yeah, it was like went on for days and days and days. And I know that there will be people in this group that know exactly what I'm talking about. They're the same thing. We love the page. We love it. And it's got nothing to do with us. But yeah, I had to just sit there and cringe for days because I flick up, oh, I've just made these, I've just made these, I've just made these. My heart sank because yeah, anyway, not bagging anyone out, and we're certainly not judging. So please, as we're discussing some of these things, please don't think we're judging people, because we're really not. You would, like, I tell my story in Additive Free Made Easy, and I'm happy to share it again now. Jo shares her story. I have fed my kids all of this stuff in the past, all the time. Like, I would go to the supermarket, get one of those cocktails so they could eat it as I go around the supermarket. Like, we are not judging at all. So please don't think that. But yes, Gemma, you would be surprised how many people just don't know. And some people just don't care either, but that's a whole nother issue. Sorry if I missed what you said about the ham and that why is it a treat. That ham is a treat because it is still really high in natural nitrates and nitrites, which are two different things, even though they sound very similar. And for us, even though they're still a better option, that's really all they are, is a better option. They're not still perfect. So they're still just that ham. That ham is a treat. If I can get ham that isn't cured in anything other than like smoked and, you know, stuff, then that's what I do. And at Christmas time, the lady that I buy it off, I actually bought like a whole, I think I bought 4 kilos of it, and I cut it all up and it's in my freezer. So yeah, so it is still a treat, that ham. Does the berry choc powder taste more chocolate or more berry? Good question. It actually tastes more chocolate because it's quite high in cacao powder. Like, it's got cacao powder through it. And where do we get the veggie powder from? Our website, Christy. And if you hang around to the end, you'll get a discount. And is it salty? No, it actually tastes like sweet potato, kind of. It's actually quite sweet, which is, I think, why Jo's kids, like, lick their finger and dip it in. Like, they love it. And loving all the info. Could it be a lot of running around in expense to find the sulfite-free ingredients? It's actually not, Jackie, and we share all that info with you. So hang around for a bit more. And I think I just scrolled past one. What's a better option to put in a hot dog instead of a Frankfurt? Okay. Okay, hang on. Jo's going like this at me, which you guys can't see. I'll flick back to Jo and she'll answer that. She's about to do the lunchbox.
I got that answer. I know. Now, with the Frankfurt, there was, of course, the nitrates in there, but there was also 160B in there. And 160B is found in a lot of breakfast cereals and a lot of snacks, a lot of things marketed as natural food colour. So I know Eva used to eat an annatto for breakfast in her cereal. She would take some biscuits. She might have it for lunch. She might have some ice cream for dessert, which would have had it in it. And then I would have sprinkled hundreds of thousands all over the top. So in one sitting, a little 2-year-old, 4 or 5 doses of annatto every day. So when we researched all these different chemicals, the government regulations all say they're approved in moderation. But what is moderation? Annatto once every 6 months? Because I can tell you now, it's in that many foods that we're eating it all day long. And it's the same as MSG, it's the same as the sulfur dioxide, it's the same as the artificial food colours. So that's why we're so passionate about trying to go as additive free as you can and doing the best that you can do so we can get this out of our lives. So I want to show you how to transfer that lunchbox into an additive free one. I've just got some rice cakes here which I can just put some avocado on. Let's just pretend I've done that. And we will wrap it up into our reusable food wraps, which again we sell on our website. And I'm going to pop some sea salted kettle chips in there, which have no MSG. Of course, I'm going to put my fruit in. We've got the Nature Valley Crunchy Oats and Honey brand. That's a big hit, oats and honey. The other ones aren't additive free, but this one is. So we'll pop the muesli bar in there to replace the nice and natural. And my kids love cold sausages. So these sausages are preservative free. Preservative 223 is found in sausages. So you need to find a butcher that sells preservative free sausages. So we'll put a preservative free sausage in their lunchbox rather than the red one. And then I've just got some leftover baked veggies. So I don't know about your kids, but my kids love cold stuff. And especially Jacob, like I trained him right from when he could eat to eat different foods. And I would just I'm going to whack a few of these in their lunchbox for just roast veggies from roast pork. So don't be scared to think outside the box when it comes to your lunchboxes. It doesn't have to be lunchbox food. Buy a little thermos. We had a little thermos that got thrown in the bin, which I need to jump online and buy again. Spaghetti bolognese, leftovers from the night before, I would put in the thermos. Our lunchboxes consist of a lot of leftovers. I did not use a piece of bread in this lunchbox demonstration because I do want to carry on a little bit, Trace. Is that all right? I'll just keep going while I'm on a roll. Because your humbled Vegemite sandwich, you've got a piece of bread, you might have 282 in there. You might put margarine on it like I used to with the Hearttick approval on there saying that it's healthy for us. That could be filled with artificial food colours and 160B, and that heavily processed it holds absolutely no nutritional value at all. Then we're putting Vegemite on there. Vegemite actually has MSG in it because it's got yeast extract in there. So there's well over 100 different names for MSG, and we give you a big long list of what they are in our e-course additive free made easy. So from one simple Vegemite sandwich, you're looking at the bread with 282, the margarine, and then the Vegemite. Baby's stuck on a piece of toast. And I'm sure that if I was to hand you something with MSG in there, that you wouldn't be giving that MSG to a little baby. So it's about knowing what we're eating. And if you want to, then go for it. But at least you know that it's in there. So we do sell on our website, it's called I Am Mighty. It is a little bit of a rip-off of the black spread. I'm not going to lie, it doesn't taste exactly the same, but my kids love it, they eat it, it's all natural, and it's a really good alternative. Buy a bread without 282, put some butter on it, and use the I Am Mighty, and then you've still got a Vegemite sandwich with no nasties. The other things that I want to talk about is just simple things, like simple things that you wouldn't even think of. Tomato paste, preservative in this one. But you buy the one in the glass jar and there's no preservatives. So it's really about swapping over things when you figure out what you actually are learning. Like when you learn it, you can't undo what you know. This coconut cream has stuff in it. Now, I don't know about your school, but our school promote these instead of a birthday cake, or these. So we're told to either buy these or these. I'm not going to do that. I would much rather send in a homemade cake than these. These are this colour from Artificial Food Colours. In this one strip, we've got preservative 202, we've got 211, we've got 223, which the 223 is found in the hot dog. What else is it found in, Trace? The muesli bars, I can't think now. Oh, the cookie, I think it was. And the colour is 123. So there's water, there's sugar, and then there's all 4 really, really nasty additives and preservatives in a Zupa Duper. And it doesn't matter what brand you go, they're all the same. So Eva has 42 students in her class. It's a dual grade 2 classroom. Got 42 kids sucking down one of these. No. So that's why we want to give you this information so you can decide, you know what, it's actually okay. I don't mind if they have a Zupa Duper today. That's okay. But you know what's in it. You understand those words and you understand those numbers. So I really hope that this webinar could show you how easy it is to swap a few things around. Over to you, Trace.
Thanks, Jo. There's a lot of people going, not the Zupa Dupers. Okay, I'm just going to share a quick little story with you guys. Blue food colouring, as Jo mentioned before, is actually linked directly to cancer. So there was a big study done. We discussed this throughout Additive Free Made Easy, and anyone that's done that knows this story already because we talk about it in there. And basically what they did, and I hate testing on animals, I really do, but I didn't do the testing. So this was the study. They got pigs to lick a block, something, I can't think exactly what it was now, but that was coloured with blue food colouring. So they let them lick the block for 20 minutes, mimicking licking an icy pole for 20 minutes, duper, or, you know, something else it would do and suck on, and it, you know, that turns their tongue blue and all of those things. So they let the pigs lick the ice block for 20 minutes, and then they tested their blood. So what they found was up to 24 hours later, that blue food colouring, which is directly linked to cancer, was still going around the bloodstream of the pig. So you do that to a 2-year-old little kid, or even an adult for that matter, like myself, and, you know, it's not cool. And the government, like, it's so not cool. Blue is a total ban in our house. I hate the colour. We have nothing blue. If my kids eat anything, they know they're not allowed to have blue. It is a total ban in our house. So I just wanted to bring you guys aware of that. There are brands you can buy. There are alternatives. A plain lemonade icy pole. Like, what's wrong with a plain lemonade icy pole? They're great. I know that, but as an alternative, it is such a better choice. So it really is about, like Jo said, making you guys aware of what is in the food that you're eating. Because once you're aware of it, you know what? If I want to have a Magnum, which I don't because it's got 160B in it, or a paddle pop or whatever, I know what I'm eating, and I sit there and I go, do you know what? I know what I'm eating. I know it's crappy, but, you know, I've had one 12 months ago. I'm going to have another one now. Sometimes my daughter comes out of work. She works at a zoo, and sometimes she'll come out of work and she'll have bought me a chocolate heart. Chocolate heart is not great, and she knows it's not great, but she'll buy me one once in a blue moon as she comes out of work, and I eat it. You know, and I know what I'm eating, so I've made that conscious decision, and that's what we want you guys to do. We want you to make that conscious decision between what you know is in the ingredients and then what you eat. And that out. So please don't shoot the messenger. There's so many. No, not the Magnums. Do you know what? Australia is the only country in the world that still has 160B in magnums. The rest of the world, it's been banned. Not cool, Australia. There's a whole array of food. All right, Joe's giving me the thumbs up again. I didn't answer any questions. I just told you a story, but we will go back to them. So keep asking the questions and we will go back to them.
No, I'm actually done, Trace. And yeah, we've got a really great offer for you guys. And I'll let Tracy explain it because she's got it. I'll pop it up. But we're really excited to release this offer. So over to you, Trace, and you can do all the talking.
Okay, good. All right, so as we've alluded to, additive-free made easy is our signature e-course, and we are opening up another round right now. So you guys will be the first to the course. We do limit the intake and what it is. So basically, for those that don't know, it's a 4-week e-course that you get access to. We break it down. We break down all the additives, not all, but the worst additives, the worst preservatives with really easy to understand English. We don't just copy and paste a medical journal and want you to read it. I've done a break it to the information. It's all there in really easy to understand format. And we break it down over 4 weeks. So how it works is, I've got a few people saying best course ever, changed my age is something, and I just set my phone here. This was a testimonial that came up in the private Facebook group, and I'll explain that in a second, of a lady who wrote this. So listen to this. Dream, everyone. My 8-year-old autism spectrum disorder gave a winning speech to his class and was voted by his peers as their SRC representative. This follows up here where he told me, his mum, that no one liked him and no one would vote for him because he was often found playing alone and playing by himself. But with the right diet, which stops him from swingers, and support in the form of an occupational therapist and loving parents, friends and family, anything is possible. Keep believing and have a happy Saturday. So that was posted on Saturday, just gone. So this lady had done the course last year, was completely alone, not doing what got here, no one liked, and this is what he was coming home pretty much alone and, every day. And this year, after the right diet and a change in his food, he was voted SRC leader. I was, and I'm nearly in tears again, it is so amazing. This was just one testimonial. We've had nearly 1,000 testimonials come through, and they are all exactly the same. And anyone in the comments that has done the course will post scripted, but we've not paid any. But if you've done the course, share your story if you want to, because it is really powerful. So anyway, back to the course. That testimonial while it was fresh in my mind. It's 4 weeks. It's covering all the additives and preservatives. Joe's going to pop the link up, and you guys can be the first to access that. It's the 7th of February, which is a great day because it's my birthday. But it starts on the 27th of February, and we are there right by your side holding your hand, which is why we limit the intake, and we close it down. We don't have it too large because we support you guys as we want to. We're there to hold your hand. You get access to a private group that only people from Additive Free Made Easy are allowed to be in. It's private and shut. Feel free to speak in that group if that makes sense. And we have women in that group, nearly just under 1,000 now, that everyone is on the same journey, all there to support. They're all there. There's no judgment. There's no harsh criticism. Everyone is on the same page in that group. It is such an amazing group. What else do I have to tell you about the group? What's changed my family? We will forever be grateful. You're very welcome. There's a few there, so please feel free to read through those. Best course ever, learnt so much and changed my you won't regret it. It's changed my life, and I don't have any behavioural issues with my children, but it has still changed my life. I know it has changed Joanne's life, and she's the, I guess, motivation behind why we started Systemix in the first place. And if you have any questions about the course, feel free to ask. Jo's popping up the code as we speak, or she may have already done it. Give me the thumbs up, Jo, if you've put the link in there yet. Yes, she has. It doesn't come up in my feed when the links go in, so yeah, she's popping that link up to purchase Additive Free Made Easy. There is an early bird offer. The early bird offer is only going for 2 weeks.
No,
because
a week, Trace, 7 days.
Oh, 1 week. Okay, pardon me. The early bird offer is only going for 1 week. So yeah, if you want the early bird price, jump on really quickly. And we generally find out that it sells out within the early bird price because everyone doesn't want to pay full price. Go figure. And yeah, do we have to commit live with the course? Okay, great question. No, the course is completely self-paced. There's no homework as such. It's not that type of course. We call it a course because it's education and it's learning. So you get 1 week, and in that week you read the information, you print the fact sheets, there's handy tips, there's guides, there's also videos and interviews. So you can access the course on your phone, iPad, computer, and you just do it at your own pace. So if you're sitting at school waiting for school pickup, you might want to watch one of the videos, or you might just want to print out all the fact sheets. You can also print out all the interviews. We had them all transcripted. So if you don't have great Wi-Fi, or you don't want to use all the download on your phone watching an interview, you can print everything within the course. It is totally printable. Pop it in a folder, you'll have it for the rest of your life, and you can flick back to it whenever you want to, after the course is finished. The course will be open for like 4 weeks, and then we leave it open for a few extra weeks at the end so that it gives you heaps of times to finish it. And yeah, it's all just about the numbers. So whilst we do give you some recipe ideas and some swaps that you can do, it is just about the numbers. It is not a cooking program. It's not a meal plan. It has everything to do with food, but nothing to do with menu planning, if that makes sense. So Joanna has just asked, do you need a Thermomix? No, you don't need a Thermomix. Jo's giving me the thumbs up. I think she's telling me that she has put the offer for the course up. Jo?
Yeah, so the offer should be up. You should be able to see it down the bottom. And what the offer is, it's great because we're offering you guys, if you sign up tonight, 10% off our systemixon.com store, and we are happy to offer it to the rest of you as well. So tomorrow you'll get a coupon code for our store for the 10% off. And then we've also got just the 7-day $50 early bird saving. We are only opening our sales run for this course for 2 weeks. So you've only got a week of early bird, then it goes up to $197 for a week, and then we start on the 27th. And if you register for Additive Free Made Easy before midnight tonight, you will also go in the draw to win a really awesome Additive Free food pack from the Whole Food Collective. So in that food pack, we've got some kale chips, which are cheesy flavour, and then we've got a spicy flavour. We've got some organic raw food bars. We've got apple flavour and apricot and almond flavour. There's some banana bites, tiger nuts, brown rice crackers. There's some coconut dream tropical kids living food packs, and a banana and coconut chunk flavour as well. So one person will win all of that if you register before midnight, but you all are entitled to the $50 saving of Additive Free Made Easy. And yeah, the 10% off systemixon.com is only available to you guys who are watching the webinar. So yes, very good. And I can see there's lots of comments coming in about how Additive Free Made Easy has changed their lives. And let me know if you want to hear my story, because I'm more than happy to share it with you guys that haven't heard it before, because it is quite emotional, and it does pull a few heartstrings, but I'm more than happy to share why we started going additive free if you want to hear it. I have got a testimonial here that I want to share with you, and then we can go back to Trace. I see there's a few questions there. So this one is from Lauren, and she said, thanks Jo and Tracy for such a wonderful course. I thought I knew so much about additives and preservatives, but I was wrong. You ladies really stepped it up. I've walked away with so many new ideas, not only with food, but also within myself. I have to admit it's been difficult to do some of the course while living with my in-laws. So next year is a new start, and then she says how she's living with her in-laws at the moment. But it really is a simple education program, and it will change your life. Like, it will change the way you look at food. You're going to understand all this stuff. And we're not about wanting you guys to change your pantry overnight, or even in a month, or even in a year. We're just about giving you the information so then you guys can decide what you want to do with it. I've got a few more testimonials, but we'll go back to you, Tracy. You can answer some questions, and then I'll come back with some more written feedbacks.
That's all right, Jo. There's a few people wanting you to share stories, so just a story, and then we'll just go. But just to clarify, the coupon, I will just butt in just for 1 sec. The coupon, so what early bird is the early bird price. So it is already the $50 off. You don't get an extra $50 off for purchasing tonight. You get, like, this one's already a $50. So yeah, just to clarify that, Prue, it's not 97, it's definitely 147. And is the coupon code for the store just for the new course people? Can you clarify that one, Jo?
Sorry, I had you on mute. No, the 10% off systemixon.com coupon is only available for you guys tonight as a thank you for joining our webinar.
Yeah, so that's a 10% for Systemixon, but what about the Whole Food Collective?
Oh, the Whole Food Collective isn't 10% off. No, it's if you purchase Additive Free Made Easy by midnight tonight, you will go in the draw to win that pack. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay, sorry, yes, okay. Okay, Kerry has just signed up and her receipt saying 197. There's a coupon code you need to put in, Kerry.
That's
we'll
right.
refund you the difference.
We'll refund you, don't worry. We'll pop the money back in your account. We'll do that tonight.
Yeah, but there is a coupon code for anyone else that is waiting to or wanting to enroll. Just make sure you put the coupon code in. Jo will type it into the comments there so you know what that is, but it is definitely there. That's why it didn't charge you the early bird price, but we'll refund you that. Okay, I'll get Jo to share her story. So even though the course doesn't include a meal plan, is there a meal plan available? Yeah, Meals Made Easy is our meal planning program. They do work side by side, but it is still all about learning the information as well, Gemma. So if you haven't done Additive Free Made Easy and you want to know more about the ingredients and the numbers, then you need to do that, because the meal planning program isn't about that. Meal planning program is just literally a meal planning program. All right, Jo will share her story.
That I want to welcome to Additive Free Made Easy already. I can see that Kerry has joined, so thank you, Kerry, and welcome. We've got Stacey, we've got Lauren, and we've got Nikki. So welcome, guys, to Additive Free Made Easy. That's so cool. I've got this testimony from Carmel, and then I'll share my story with you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love doing this course. It has helped me in so many ways. I thought I was eating fairly good, but this course has helped me to take the next step and how I can improve even more. It also got me thinking about everyday products we use, and oh my God, there is so much crap out there. Your Facebook group, which is the private group that you'll join, has helped me with so many questions with info that's not even food related. And because my son's eczema has gone and my dermatitis has also gone, we no longer use crap on our bodies. I feel so good about knowing what food choices to make and feel content in making these choices. Jo and Tracy, thank you. I can't thank you enough. I've now got a big bug to keep learning. That's amazing. So my story is that when Eva was just 3 years old. She was 3 years old and 1 month old when Jacob was born. And we were having a lot of behavioural issues with her. She was doing a lot of things that a 3-year-old shouldn't. She couldn't sit still even for a minute. I stopped taking her places. She was having lots of tantrums, lots of massive meltdowns that would just go on and on and on. And they would go on for so long that she would result, she'd curl up in a little ball and she'd sit like this and she'd just rock back and forth. And she'd then start to scratch her face, and, you know, we had to peel her fingers off her face one by one. And it was really, really, really awful. A lot of my friends had children around the same age, and, you know, they were able to go to the movies, or they were going to the park, or playgroup, or mainly music, and we couldn't go because I just knew that Eva couldn't cope. I knew that it would result in a big tantrum, and she'd run off. I couldn't take her to the park. She'd just run off constantly. And she was also biting. She was biting for a very long time. We got kicked out of 3 different daycare centres for her biting. And, you know, we did everything we could do to try and get her to stop biting, and she just would not stop biting children. It was horrific. She was always sick. She always had some sickness. She had chronic, repeated tonsillitis, and she had her tonsils and adenoids removed before she was 2. She was only 20 months old. She had ear infection. She had bronchitis. She had bronchial asthma. She was then diagnosed as an asthmatic later on. You name it, Eva had it. She had pneumonia over New Year's 1 year as well. And I remember thinking to myself, like, so Jacob was born, he cried the whole time. We found out he was lactose intolerant. And then I had all these behavioural issues. And Eva was due to go to kindy the next year. And I remember thinking, how's she ever going to get to kindy, but how is she ever going to go at prep? Then I went along to a Thermomix demo, and that was what led me to buy my machine. But the consultant there was Lisa Kordoff, and she mentioned that additive 102 is sometimes found in custard powder. And I thought, well, what's 102? Like, what is this additive? Why? And she had mentioned something like, yeah, it can be linked to behavioural issues and, you know, just a few little bits and pieces. And she said she wouldn't want to be giving it to her kids. And I thought, well, what? That's weird. Like, what? I don't understand. So I went home that night and I Googled 102, and I was horrified as what it was linked to. We're talking asthmatics should avoid it, behavioural issues, restlessness, sleeplessness, rashes. And I was just like, I remember thinking to myself, what the heck? I don't understand how this can be in our food. My husband was away for work, and I just Googled my head off, which took me a very long time, and I kind of came up with my own list of what additives and preservatives we should try and remove from our diets. And the additives and preservatives that I looked up were ones that were all linked to behavioural issues, mostly. And my husband came back from work, and I remember handing him this list and saying, maybe this could be what is Eva's problem. And I used to think we had a healthy diet. Like, I used to cook a few things. I used to cook a lot, actually. I used to make meat and veg for dinner. We'd have cereal for breakfast that was heavily marketed to be healthy. It might have 4.5-star health food rating on it. You know, I used to, she used to have a lot of milk because I used to think milk was really healthy, but it turns out that milk is not good for Eva at all. And, you know, I used to spend a fortune at the healthy food aisle of the supermarket. I didn't know that all these additives and preservatives were in food. Like, I didn't know that sulfur dioxide was in dried fruit and causing her an asthma attack. And so anyway, I gave my husband this list, and I said, this could be something, you know, that we might need to look at. And he grabbed a list and he went, all right, let's do it. We went to our fridge and pantry and we literally threw in the bin every number that I had on my list. And in what felt like overnight, her behaviour changed. She calmed down. She stopped having all these tantrums that ended. Like, so she'd start to have a little tantrum, but then they'd end. And I was able to talk with her. I was able to reason with her. She stopped getting so sick. And you know what? She stopped biting. Like, when she stopped biting, that was it for me. I knew that this was it. Like, this is the way that it has to be. So then we had to keep going on our journey, and we're still on a journey. We still pick up things today of, what's going on, like what she had at school, what's been reintroduced to her, or, something got back into our cupboard that shouldn't be there. But it has changed our lives, and I know that it's changed hundreds of yours. So that's how System Mixing got started. That's why we built Additive Free Made Easy, because I said to Tracy, we were sitting down at a conference, and I said to her, I wish there could have just been a place where I could have just gone and learnt the information and done it. But instead, I had to try and figure it out all on myself. I felt all alone. I felt like I had no support around me. My friends and family all thought I had gone total woo-woo and hippie and nuts. Definitely the family I have around me just did not understand at all. And Tracy said to me, well, let's make one. So we did. So we made Additive Free Made Easy, and yeah, it's been the best thing that has ever happened. So that's my story. Thanks for listening. And
what you forgot to mention, Jo, you forgot to mention that you cancelled her appointment for ADHD.
I did. I didn't say that bit. So what happened was I had booked her into a clinic to get her tested. You're going to make me cry, right?
Yeah, that's why I do it, because I like to see you cry.
Sorry. I booked her into a clinic to get her tested for ADHD. And I found a clinic through the place that I worked, the kindergarten I worked in. And it was it was the best clinic in Brisbane. And there was I can't go it. There was a 5.5 month, and I remember thinking to myself, how on earth am I going to get through the next 5.5 months? I didn't want to take her, for one. I didn't want to get through the next 5.5 months, but I didn't know what to do. So I proceeded down the route of what we're told, to go and get her assessed, and I knew they were going to put her on medication. I did not want that. So the day before my appointment, I'd gone additive and preservative free, and the day before, I got to give them a call and cancel that appointment.
Oh, Jojo, you always make me cry as well. And there's a few people.
I've said that story a million times, and every single time, there's
a few people crying with us. It is a really, really inspirational story, and really powerful story. You know what, though? Not everyone has such a powerful story, and it doesn't have to be all about kids with behavioural issues as per Eva. So there's a few people here, and we will get to the questions, so please hang around. I know that we've skipped over them, and because we've been, sharing Additive Free Made Easy and stuff, but we will go back to them, I promise. So just hang around. But if this one lady's just asked, Christy Lee, just said, we're booked in for my daughter to be diagnosed. I feel your pain. I feel like I'm looking in the mirror. So she doesn't want the diagnosis either. Look, Jo, I know as her sister, it was the toughest thing she ever did was ringing to book the appointment. But as you just heard, I know it was the best thing she ever did to be able to cancel that appointment. We're not saying that this is a cure-all. We're not going to say that it's going to, solve world poverty and cure cancer forever and blah, 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 blah. what we're saying is it's worth the effort. It's worth making that choice. It's worth putting in that little bit of hard work. And it's not even hard work, like some simple swaps and some simple alternatives. We're not saying you have to get up at 3 in the morning and bake bread and, you know, cook everything from scratch and do all these things. It's not like that. It's really quite simple, actually, to go additive and preservative free. And we discuss the hard parts in the course. So the course is full of information, but it's also packed full of helpful guides and helpful tips to get you through those hard parts that you're going to struggle with. We know you're going to struggle the next time you go to a birthday party. We have a whole fact sheet on it and a whole plan for you to follow the next time you go to a kid's birthday party. We talk about how to handle Super Dupers at school. We discuss that with you and we give you all the tips that we've done and we've implemented ourselves. And no, Joe doesn't feel guilty. There was one question that I read, what does Joe do with Super Dupers at school? My kids are teenagers. They don't have Super Dupers at school. They're, you know, one's in grade 11 now and the other's in grade 9. So I'm all past all that stage. But I know Joe takes Icy Poles, a different brand, to school. Either plain lemonade icy poles or the Smooths brand that you get in Woolies, and they have them in the freezer for Eva. And Eva doesn't care. She loves them. She has her Smooths. She doesn't care that she's not having a Super Duper because she knows what the Super Duper does to her. She knows how it makes her feel. So she doesn't want to eat that. Eva's been educated and she completely understands what's going on. And we do too. If your child had a peanut allergy, you would educate that child to not eat peanuts. And this is a similar thing. It's, you know, Eva gets really sick. She's been in hospital because she's eaten the wrong food. So it's no different in our eyes. Like, she's not able to breathe because she's eaten a preservative that doesn't agree with her. That is just as bad as a peanut allergy, and she could die from that. So that is just as bad. So she knows what she can and can't eat. And she's getting better at it the older she gets. And, you know, God bless her cotton socks. She does really well. And she'll sit there and look and ask and say, Mum, can I have this? Can I have that? So please don't feel guilty. There was some way further down that we're feeling really guilty about what they've fed their children or allowing the kids to have Super Dupers and all those things. There is no guilt allowed in our course. You leave it at the door and you move on. There is no guilt allowed. I'm nearly ripping my headphones out. I'm getting that excited. There is no guilt allowed. It is not allowed to have any reason to feel guilty. You did not know what was in the food. You don't, you know, we didn't know until we started learning. I can tell you some horror stories about what my kids have eaten. So never feel guilty. Your child, once you've learnt the information, you can then just make the informed decision feeding your kids. Like, you know, it's not just about kids. It is about adults as well. So I just wanted to clarify that. We do not allow guilt. My sister, you know, yeah, so there's Joe's red tags and stuff. So I'll try and get through a few of these. My sister and sister-in-law did this at the same time, and my nephew would complain about pains after every party they went to, normally because he'd eaten something yellow. So there you go. So both Tanya's sister and sister-in-law have completed the course and now know.
Can I? Sorry, can I just add to that regarding the pains? Because that's why I tagged it, because a lot of people in Additive Free Made Easy have children with leg pains and growing pains. And I actually see it a lot in our Oily Tribe group as well, asking what oils to use on growing pains. A lot of pains at night time with the kids, and I get it as well, so I shouldn't even say kids, like humans, is from the food that we eat and the additives and preservatives in our food. I used to get really achy knees, and sometimes I get that, they'd be that bad that I just feel like I want one of those stretch machines to stretch me out. I actually can't remember the last time I got a really bad bout of it. And there's so many comments in the Additive Free Made Easy private group of people like saying, oh, do you think additives and preservatives are linked to growing pains or aches and pains in the legs? That many people right under yes. Actually, I've just connected the dots. Yeah. And another one is bedwetting as well. and lots of docs are getting connected through the different type of foods that the kids are eating as well for bedwetting. So I just sort of wanted to bring that up. Back to you, Trace, like a news reporter.
No, thanks, Joy. Yeah, and crossing live to Hobart, where it's minus 10 degrees. It probably is outside by now, who knows. All right, so I've scrolled right down, so hopefully we don't miss any. I'll whiz through these as quick as we can because I know it's getting late in some areas in Australia. So Sarah has said, my kids get given Super Dupers up to 20 times a year. This is what we're talking about, like it's crazy ridiculous. Some people approach their schools and discuss with the schools. Like I said before, Joe just takes a different brand to school and Eva has those. So we do discuss that throughout Additive-Free Made Easy with options there. Kerry has said, what about blue food colouring in things like paint and Play-Doh? Yes, anything you put on your skin will absorb into your skin. So if your children are playing with blue Play-Doh, if their hands are turning blue, it's going to start seeping into their skin. So just be wary of those. Finger painting and stuff, just be wary of those things. If they're using a paintbrush, not so bad. But definitely be wary of anything that's on our skin because it will sink into your skin and end up in your bloodstream, sometimes as fast as up to 30 seconds. So just be wary about that. Is Quelch a better option? I actually have no idea because I haven't bought them in years. I know that Quelch have on the front something about fruit juices and stuff. I dare say they're jam-packed full of sugar, but just have a quick read of the ingredients. If you see anything to do with food colours, I would avoid them. I really struggle with lunchboxes now. I feel really overwhelmed and ashamed. This was Lauren, and this is what I was referring to before, Lauren. I've just covered it. Don't feel guilty. Not allowed. I covered that before, so I won't go over it again because we've got lots of questions. I want to join the payment 188. Do we still? And is a little bit more expensive because it costs us more to do it as a payment plan. So I'm really sorry, Melissa. But because we have to pay fees every time a payment goes through, we have to pass on those fees. So sorry. Andrew said, Trace, I missed the first 20 minutes. Can we watch it later? Yep, you'll get a replay link. So keep an eye out for that in your email feed and check your junk mail if you don't see it in your main mailing list thing. Rachel has said, Joe, was your list of numbers the same as those you give in Additive-Free Made Easy? It was, Joe, I don't know what happened to Joe's list of numbers, but we cover, yes, everything that Joe had said. She's going, go back to me. I know the answer, so I don't need to. So, yes, we cover everything that was on Joe's list plus more. So we'll go with that. Scrolling. We've just done that one, Can the payment plan, can you do the payment plan and get the discount? We've just done that. I've just answered that. Okay, Jezzy has said, my in-laws don't respect her views on additives. This is a really throughout the course when people are doing it. In-laws are the hardest. So are parents. Our parents still, you know, really like should be totally 100% on board, and our parents still do, oh, one won't hurt. And if mum's watching, one does hurt. So, you know, we're still like, we face the same battles. Totally get it. We face the same battles, and we do cover that throughout Additive-Free Made Easy. We have a whole fact sheet on it. You have about 2 pages of information on how to deal with that. So we definitely cover that because that is definitely a big theme. All right, Charlie has asked, what's the approximately weekly time commitment to the course? Great question. About an hour to sometimes 2 hours. Each week is slightly different, and week 1 is reasonably quick. Week 2 is really quite in depth, and you might need to allow a little bit longer, but you also have access to week 1 in week 2. Week 3 opens up. You have then access to week 1, 2, and 3. So if you want to go back and look at something else, you can. Then week 4 opens up. You then have access to the whole entire lot. And then we leave it open for an extra couple of weeks. So print it out, like I said, print out and, rewatch everything a couple of times. And you do have a fair bit of time to do that. And she's also asked, it's pre-recorded, so does that eliminate the visual sounds issues? Totally does. It's all pre-recorded, so you just watch that on your own Wi-Fi. blah, 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 blah. I think we've answered those. So I've just said that before, Cherie. Can I ask what brand Joe takes to school instead of Super Dupers? Plain lemonade icy poles or Smooze, they're called, SMOOZE. And they're in Woolies. I don't think they're in Coles. Okay, so Nikki has just said, I have Quelch in my freezer. They have colours 102, 110, 129, 133, preservative 202, 211, 233. Oh, and to top it off, sulfites. I'll throw them in the bin. Literally, just throw them in the bin. I wouldn't even. Most of the time we advocate using up what you've got and then swapping to a different brand. Sometimes we go, you know what, it's not worth it, throw them in the bin. Just throw them in the bin. A lot of people say, just joined, chocolate Easter eggs. Yep, we know Easter's around the corner and we've got that covered. There's actually a blog post on that on our website, so you can have a flick back through our website. And, and Claire has just said Coles do have Smooth, so there you go. Yeah, so Sherry, jump on over to our website and have a look at the Easter egg post. Joe did it last year. I'll flick back to Jo, see if she's got any last words of wisdom. And thank you to all those who've already joined. We know you're going to get heaps out of it, so I don't even have to hope anymore. We've had a whole year of doing this now, and every single person has loved it, has noticed some improvement and some change. And, we'll flick back to Jo.
Yeah, I agree with you, Trace. So I've got a few people to welcome in. So we've got Robert and Melanie and Kelly, Jackie, Kylie, Alice, Bianca, Cheryl, Rachel, Liz, Alison, Bianca, and then the ones I mentioned before. So welcome to Additive Free Made Easy. That is exciting. And do you know what, Tracy? I have a feeling we have just clicked over 1,000 members.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
We were just under 1,000, so that is awesome.
I know, that is so awesome.
Amanda has just asked, are there any links to night terrors? Yes, there are. So, yes, some additives can, or may be linked to night terrors and stuff. So it is all about finding out that and working out which ones, are affecting your families and your kids. So definitely. And that's the same with anything, what might affect one person doesn't affect the other. What might affect one person instantly might take the next person 5 days. It is just like I said earlier, in the single person, and every single additive will affect people differently. My daughter, so the reason I started Additive Free was, one, Jo had been on her journey, and I noticed all these things, and I was listening to her information. I was thinking about it, and then things just started gelling a little bit for me as well, and I started putting two and two together. And my daughter was getting lots and lots of headaches, and like to the point where I was taking her to the doctor. They were like, "Oh, I don't know what it is. Go home." We worked it out that it was barbecue shapes, and they're a chemical storm, like I said before, if I can say that word. And we worked it out, and they've not had barbecue shapes for about a year and a half, and they don't even miss them. Like, they just don't. I've got a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. I started this process with teenagers who had already eaten McDonald's, who have already had KFC, who have had everything you can possibly think. So it is hard with teenagers. They know the difference. It's not, Jo's great. She's got Jake. He doesn't know any different. I don't think he's ever had McDonald's in his life. He doesn't know it exists. So sometimes that is a little bit easier. But with teenagers, it is really hard. Like, they argue back at you. They say, they're in the town shopping alone with their friends. They'll buy whatever they want. I'm not there to supervise them. They're 16. She earns her own money. So it's education, it's teaching them, it's when they're coming home from a friend's sleepover and they feel sick the next day. And I'm like, oh, really? What did you eat last night for dinner? Oh, they ordered Domino's, and then we had this, and then we had that. I'm like, oh, really? Funny that you feel sick today. So it is all that education, a little bit of sarcasm with my kids. And, but, yeah, Joe's laughing. But yeah, please really try and educate yourself. We know it's hard. We get it, and we are there to support you 100% through the journey of eating additive and preservative free. I'll flick back to Joe.
Yeah. So the great thing about the Facebook group, that's worth over $150 on it all by itself. The group is incredible. I've never, ever, and I'm in a lot of groups, and I have never witnessed a group so supportive of each other. Tracy and I are in there every day. Every day. We're answering questions. We're totally committed to you guys because, as I said before, we don't want anyone going through what I had to go through with trying to figure it out all on my own. And, you know, if we can be in that group every day and help you guys along the way, that's what we do. And I'm sure if anyone's still watching that has done our course, I'm not sure if anyone's still there, I'm pretty sure they'll vouch for us and say how active we are in there and how we do hold your hand. And we've got your back. We've got your back. I think my husband's in the garage. Got the worst in-laws in the world. These guys are so far from additive and preservative free, it's not funny. And I've been in your shoes when there's no support and when you're told you're crazy and when they think you're literally crazy. So we've been there. We're there now. We just want to help you guys.
Yeah, or when they dish up KFC for Christmas. Like, really? Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, we've been there.
Jacqueline, the code for the shop hasn't been sent out yet. We'll send that out tomorrow. So what we'll do tomorrow is I'll drop the kids at school, I'll drop Jake at kindy, I'll send out the replay video and I'll send out the code to our systemixon.com shop for the 10% off. So if you don't know about our shop, what we've done, we've just released 60 plus brand new products of all additive and preservative free skincare. Another thing that we do talk about in the course is sodium benzoate, which is found in a lot of body care stuff. It's found in baby wipes. It's found in a lot of things. So we do cover sodium benzoate, and we also cover self-care as well, because we need to take care of ourselves too. So we cover that a little bit. But back to our store, we've pretty much got our store. We want to be a one-stop shop. We want you guys to be able to come to the store, get everything that you need, and, you know, then check out, not having to shop here and shop there and shop everywhere else. So do check out our store because we've got shampoo, conditioner, we've got all the body care, we've got all the superfood powders, we've got organic protein powder, we've got breakfast, granolas and porridge and different things. We've got toothpaste, kids' toothpaste, adults' toothpaste, heaps and heaps of, like, hundreds of products now in our store. So we'll be sending out that coupon code tomorrow for you. And we'll keep it open as well for a little while.
Finished yet? I'll start to speak and then you butt it in. All good. All right. So Elizabeth has said Amanda. So she's referring to one of the other comments. Amanda, my daughter had night terrors, but no more after taking out additives. So that's from Amanda. So that's from Elizabeth to Amanda, who had asked about night terrors. People are thanking us. Bedwetting we met and we did touch on before. Are they linked to bedwetting? So, you know, it's worth just putting that together. Gemma has asked, I'd be interested to know if any fast food is acceptable or better than others. I know it's not great, full stop, but, you know, ... So, look, we do still blah, blah, blah. We still do get takeaway, but generally it might be like fish and chips or something like that. And, you know, if we go out to dinner, we still do that. We go out for a counter meal once every now and then when we can afford it, or if it's someone's birthday or something. And schnitzel and chips or something, or I might say no gravy because I know it's going to be a packet mixed gray box, not homemade. Or, you know, so it's just about just adjusting a few things. If they're using a salad dressing, I'll just say, look, can you put it on the side, and then I can kind of suss it out. Or I might ask, is it homemade or something like that. So you can still go out, you can still have a good time. And that's what we were talking about before. If you do go out and you're at a birthday party and it happens to be at McDonald's, you know what? Joe's actually made chicken nuggets before, took them in a container, quietly said to the lady, can you just put these in the little McDonald's box, chicken nugget box, and bring them out for my daughter because she can't have the chicken nuggets from McDonald's because she's allergic to them. So no one noticed. They were in the same box. The lady was really helpful. She did it. She put Eva's in a little packet. Eva still had the chips. That's fine. But, well, they're not fine, but you know what I mean? Like, but the chicken nuggets, you know, Joe had made herself, and no one noticed. Like, no one noticed. So there's alternatives. There are ways to get around it without making your child feel different, because no one wants to feel different. You know, like I've said before, we do go through that, and we will help you out throughout the course and, you know, stick with you as well. So I think that's about it. I think you guys, when will we get vanilla beans? Oh, God. They're really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know. Do you pay
No.
$4 a packet? I don't. Oh. Anyway, that's what we nearly have to charge.
I've run out of paste, sorry, Trace. I've got no more paste left. I'm down to my extract. I'm on desperate measures.
Do you know what? I'm not going to tell you then that I found about 4 vanilla beans. I've got.
No. Right, well, you can send some up here. That'd be great. Thanks. I appreciate that.
No, I won't be. I'll be holding them all to myself, hogging them. Actually, I'm going to go raid Sonia's pantry because she found 2 packets of vanilla beans. No. Okay, so that was a side note. Vanilla beans, there's a worldwide shortage of vanilla beans. We had the best supplier. They were these big, fat, juicy vanilla beans, but there's a worldwide shortage and they're really, really expensive. And so we don't know whether to, and then have to pass on, obviously, that cost. And would you pay $40 to $50 for a pack of 15 or 10 or 15 beans?
Yeah, if we get them back, we're going to have to charge about $40 for 10 beans. And that's not even making really any profit. And we have to order 15 kilos, and I just don't think we can sell that many. So to answer your question, I don't know if it's going to happen. Yeah.
No,
well,
yeah, either.
You better go.
Yeah, I know. It's past my bedtime. I need to get to bed. I think we've answered as many questions as we can. Hopefully we have. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching right through to the end. We'll put the coupon code for our shop up tomorrow, and or you'll get it in an email, sorry, tomorrow. And we really hope you enjoyed it. There's another webinar next week. So we'll be back again next week. We'll see you then.
See you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.